for 2023 was 813 million Ghana cedis. Honorable Minister, in 2023, there was a surplus, yes. There was a surplus of 730 million Ghana cedis. And so, with this surplus, if they are still not able to pay themselves, if they are still not able to run the place, this was in 2013, then Honorable Minister, 2023, sorry, then Honorable Minister, there's a lot we have to do to turn things around. But Honorable Minister, I come to your total assets. Honorable Minister, there's one thing I want to point out to you here. That the auditor said, even though your revenue increased by 5.2%, your expenditure went up by 72.2%. Don't you think we should also be checking some of these things? Because if your revenue go up by just 5.2, but your expenditure goes up by 72.2%, it is something we ought to look at, and I believe that it's in your purview that you look at that too. That is on the financial position the auditors have provided for us. And do you have anything to say to that, please?
Definitely, Honorable Chair. When you spend more than you earn, meaning something is wrong with you, and you might not be setting your priorities right. And that is why we are all here. A lot of work is stopped for us to appear before you to respond to those kind of irresponsible behaviors that took place in the past. But under this reset agenda, this will not be something that will be countenance or will happen under our watch. And so it is something that we in the Ministry of Transport will not allow to happen within this time of our stay in government.
Thank you very much. We also go to your current ratio. You improved slightly. In 2022, it was 0.03:1. That is, you can pay for your short-term loans by just 0.03%. And then for 2024, you inched up by 0.1. So, Minister, as you have taken over and in your view, it was collapsed, what are you doing to turn things around so that you can improve on your current ratios? Moving forward, we can have at least 1:1 where you can, your short-term debt or liabilities can be covered by what you have.
Thank you, Chair. The rail system is supposed to be functioning and being able to pay for itself. What we are doing is to get our contractors who over the years abandoned site because of non-payment of interim payment certificates that were issued. And we have successfully negotiated with them to resume work, and work is ongoing at some of our contracts or railway lines. It is our belief that when they are completed, they will be functioning and they will generate revenue to pay for itself.
Minister,
I beg your pardon. I was a bit distracted. Can you please go over what you said?
So, as you repeat for your not listening to me.
Minister, it's not funny because we had a case here that we were dealing with. Respectfully, I would want to ask another question, but maybe you have asked already. So it is not to repeat for me not listening. Repeat that I follow up with a question because we were also, as we sit here, there are lots of things we do. And so you pardon me. That's why I said, pardon me. Can you repeat? That's exactly what I said.
For us to have the railway system back to its glory days, it should be functioning. And that is why we took the pain or the opportunity to engage the contractors who abandon sites and ensure that we give them the promise that they deserve to be able to continue with their construction. And when they are done with their work, we will have a functioning rail system that will be able to connect people, make some revenue, and function once again.
So you're trying to say that that is the only way, that until the contractors finish, and then you have a functioning railway system. But there are other management issues that I believe you should look at. So it's not just about the hard bit, but the soft bit also needs to be looked at, and maybe your leadership and your guidance will be needed in that regard.
Definitely, Chair. We need to have an efficient and a well-functioning rail system. And whilst you cannot talk of the efficiency now because there's no any system to work with and determine somebody's efficiency, we feel that when we are able to get the tracks working, we'll be able to now monitor on daily basis the activities of our workers. That will bring about improvement. So certainly we are going to look at everybody's performance, including ourselves. And we believe that when we get the tracks back working or functioning, the rail system will come back to its glory days.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, you are my very good friend, but I just want to set the record straight. For the 2023-2022 accounts we are considering, this is a company that made a surplus of 730 million in 2023, made a surplus of 759 million in 2022. And Pakadan was inaugurated in November 2024. And for a company to have churned out a surplus of 730 million, this cannot be seen to be a company that is in shambles. So that is just to set the record straight. And then again, if you look at the ratios are not so bad. And this is as of 2023. So when we are looking at the records must stand that Ghana Railway Development made a surplus of 730 million as of 2023, and also made a surplus of 759 million as of 2022. So the records are there, and it's clear.
Chair, I'm not sure my colleague listened to me very well. The chair asks about the rail system. That has to do with the entirety of the Ghana Railway Company Limited, Ghana Railway Development Authority. And I can say that there was no any surplus. What you are seeing were contract payments. It is not that they generated revenue to that quantum we are talking of. So maybe you might have, I will let the finance people come in, but it was not any revenue that was generated and having that seated in the account. There were contract payments amounts to contractors that appears there, not like they generated any activity to bring about that money. But I will let my, I will let my counsel
we've asked a
explain
question. Please let's
the financial side for you.
Thank you, Honorable Board Chair. Let me explain this. If you look at the income receivables, anything that you see there as revenue is payable to contractor. And when I talk about contractor, as you might be aware, the financial agreement is between the Ministry of Finance and the contractor. So anything that says revenue is either payment of IPCs or advance mobilization from Ministry of Finance to the contractor to do the work. So in 2022, you are looking at revenue of 845,000 out of IPC payments. Okay, and if we are seeing the 845,000 in 2022 compared to 2023, because in 2022 because of the program, we had to front load IPC 5, IPC 6 to our contractors for them to be able to do the work.
Sir,
So,
is it not still revenues that came in to your company?
no,
No. Is it not monies that came in for you to offload to your contractors? Is that not the case?
It's payment of IPCs to
They did not
contractors.
come in as revenue to you to use to pay, to make payments.
Honorable Chair. No. Honorable Chair. The member was saying that they made profit.
No,
He said-
no,
he was talking
no.
of profit, and that is
Minister,
why we are telling you that.
Respectfully, it is not what the member said. He's made a submission. I'm asking that the monies that came from Ministry of Finance, it came in as revenues for you to use to pay your contractors. Is that not the case?
Yes, it came as interim payment certificate that is paid directly from Ministry of Finance to the contractor.
Yes.
But, let me,
so it is monies that came in.
Yes.
So then the auditors are right in capturing it as revenue. It is right. They are right as capturing it as revenue because there are inflows that came in, whether to use for A, B, C, D. It is to be used for your expenditure. That's it. So I understand. Initially, you got us a bit confused
Yes.
that
Honorable Chair,
but
I think
these are revenues that came in from Ministry of Finance. It's like the budgetary allocation that Ministry of Finance gives to you and then you use to pay. Is that not the case?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Is that the case?
Honorable Chair.
Is that the case, sir?
It is the
Okay,
case.
then thank you.
But if I
Let
may,
me ask you
please.
something. Let me ask you something. Madam is talking about revenue.
Yeah.
How much of your operations, how much revenue did you generate from your own operations?
Yes, the IGF generated from Ghana Railway Development Authority as of last year was 5.58 million cedis. So, and this year, we are
talking about 2022 and 2023.
Yes, 2022, we generated revenue of about 2.9 million cedis, and in 2023, we generated roughly about 2.8 million cedis.
So, you see, this is it. The 842 was money from finance for you to pay to the contractors. Your actual operations couldn't have paid for this. So when we are talking about profit over here, auditors, how is that profit? I mean, their own operations, they only made about 2.2 million.
Honorable Chair, in the first place, we want to clarify this. The owner of the account, is always the entity. It's the entity that prepares the account. The auditor will do his work and express opinion on the financial statement. So we did not generate the account, if we have to put it that way. They did. And so I think the question rather should be answered by the entity.
Okay, but then this account over here did not show your true operations, because that you got money from finance. Okay, I will let you finish in a minute. Your actual revenue was about 2.2 million. So then your loss would have been, I mean, you wouldn't have shown a surplus, it would have shown a loss. So this account was not prepared the way that I think maybe it should have been done.
Thank you, Boche. I will say this. For Ghana Railway Development Authority, as an implementing agency, most of the donor-funded projects are accounted for as revenue receivables, but they are not actual operation generation income. Operation generation income comes from licensing, ground rent, and what I call leases of equipment. So as alluded in the report, and per the directive of the Ministry of Railway Development, which was used as a basis of calculating of which the Auditor-General picks it up. Any payment from Ministry of Finance to our contractor is deemed as a revenue to us as the authority. But if you also look at it, we are looking at the Western region. That is where we are spending most of the time. And for example, for the donor-funded project that we are looking at Western region, the fiscal progress is 15.01% compared to 39.9% of the financial progress in terms of money releases. So typically, our operations, IGF, is about, on average, is about 4 million a year. This year is where we've managed to generate over 13.5 million cedis. But our operation doesn't go beyond that. So if you see this as revenue, of course, it's because of the money released to the authority. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, I am a bit concerned about the accounts that they showed to the auditors. He mentioned that their actual IGF was 2 point something, and then all the other, but he did not mention the other incomes that they also received in 2022. In 2022, I see 15.3 million as other income, and then in 2023, I see 91.5 as other income. Clearly, what the auditors just said, it is what your financial statements that they looked at and gave an opinion on. And so what you are also sitting here saying and what is here and the final results, your final position, does not sit well with us. And clearly I can say that this was not prepared, did not give a true and fair view of happenings at Ghana Railway. And Minister, it is not just about putting the infrastructure in place. If you don't open your eyes, if you don't really look at things properly, you will do that and you will still not achieve the objective for which you invested so much money in. Because clearly, the accounts here and what he's telling us and the position of the auditors are completely different.
Thank you, Chair. And it will tell you the reasons why the Railway Ministry was closed and merged with the Ministry of Transport because of some of these behaviors that took place in the past. And you can even look from the accounts that we are presenting that things will not be as usual, and we are going to ensure that when we have a functioning system, equally we will put the checks and balances to ensure that things are done and done properly. I thank you.
Honorable Minister, so with these accounts, what has been revealed over here, it means that then you were right by saying that the place was in a mess. Because, I mean, making 2.2 million in revenue, and what they are showing as revenue was money given to them by Finance, Ministry of Finance, to pay contractors. So you were right, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Rankin.
Thank you.
Chair, Minister, looking at the position of the account, I can tell that this is misleading public officers. They are misleading us, and then they are not being truthful to us. And that alone is a criminal thing. I would say it is a criminal, and then it is a criminal offense, and then we need to look at this because the presentation and everything is just misleading public officers like us.
Hold on. The auditors will have to come in. Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. Minister and CEO, I would like to find out that the finance officers who prepared this account, do you still have some of them with your organization? And whether we have some of them in this room?
No, you know, the ministries were realigned. So some of the workers were moved to other ministries. So you have a case where the chief director has moved to a different place. Some of the workers are moved to other ministries. So we don't necessarily have all of them in the Ministry of Transport.
Auditors, I will appeal to you that you look at their financials properly again, because what they have together is not what we have in the report. That it doesn't. What they are showing, it doesn't reflect the true situation that is going on over there. Because anybody who picks it up, how railways, they made $730 million profit, whilst they can't even pay their workers, and that's not the true picture.
Yes. Honorable Chair, maybe we would have to look at the detailed account, but under IPSAS, when you are preparing the accounts, GOG subvention will be captured under revenue. The detailed account will give you the revenue streams so that you'll be able to tell the one that they generated themselves as an entity and the one that is coming from government. You see, so with that, we'll be able to give a better. It's possible that per the accounts, it was captured under revenue, and they were maybe preparing the accounts under modified cash basis. That is when you receive and then you spend. In this case, they received the monies for projects to pay for to pay contractors. So if it is cash basis, you would have expensed it out of the expenditure column. So what comes in will go through the expenditure. So it will come through as a revenue, and then it will go out as an expenditure. So we may have to look at all of this to be able to ascertain whether the accounts has not been done well, or it's just that we are not being able to give a better explanation because the details are not here. Thank you.
Minister, that is all from your ministry, right? Okay.
Yes, Chair.
So, is this suggesting that you received 813, and then because you had a surplus of 730 million, you did not pay all the projects or the contractors as you were supposed to pay, because you said the monies that came in was for payment to contractors, and you still had a surplus of 730. Is it indicating that you did not utilize all the monies that were given to you? Well, 1 minute. This is not for you. I'm asking the auditors. The auditors. So if they come and they claim a revenue of 1,813 million was given, and in the surplus you see 730, which does not correspond with any other huge income, and the revenue was for payments to contractors, would it presuppose that contractors were not paid? The 730 indicates that the monies for the contractors were still sitting in the books?
Substantially, that is what it is.
So, Minister, that is all from your outfit, right?
Yes, Chair.
Minister, you are discharged.
Thank you.
Now we call Minister of Finance. Clerk, could you make sure that you swear in anybody? Could you make sure you administer the oath to those who will be answering questions?
swearing in. Hey, Chief, how are we? Good, good, good. No, it's not. I think it was this year or so. It's probably a correspondent.
I
I, Thomas Sampson,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, we'll call SIGA first. Is that SIGA seated? Okay. Honorable Minister, could you introduce yourself and your delegation, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Thomas Ampim, the Deputy Minister.
Honorable Chair, my name is Patrick Nomo, Chief Director at the Ministry of Finance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Romeo Jijono Akabutu, Chief Internal Auditor.
Honorable Chair, my name is Michael Pesa-White, the Acting Director-General of SIGA.
Honorable Chair, my name is Samuel Obin Ankoma, Acting General Manager, FNA.
Honorable Chair, my name is Zachary Alasan, Acting Head of Finance. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name is Brigitte Nusin, Acting Head of Legal.
Thank you very much. We'll be reviewing your financial performance, and Honorable Dr. Jassa will handle that from paragraph 432.
Okay, so thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and welcome. Looking at your financial statement, I think the performance between, so this one is 2023 and 2024, actually. And so we noticed that your total surplus from the 2023 figure of 4 million has moved in the negative to 18 million. Could you tell us what accounted for this, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if you look at the report, you see clearly that revenue from non-exchange transactions, which is transfers from the Ministry of Finance to SIGA, dwindled from 23 million to 17 million from 2023 to 2024. And most importantly, grants and donations also reduced significantly from 16 million to 7 million. And so that mainly accounted for the reduction. And it is obvious that we cannot continue to depend on grants and donations. So basically, these are the reasons why you see that the figures from 2023 compared to 2024 reduced significantly. But I will allow SIGA to give more details if they have. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Within the period also, I think SIGA undertook a very, very important national assignment by producing, I believe, 2 of the state ownership reports, the one for 2022 and then the one for 2023 within the same period. And that also accounted for that particular phenomena. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So a deterioration of 552% is clearly huge, and I hear the minister. But what can we do
You say clearly that's not a path to take. Do you have any ideas, any innovations coming up?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the main source of revenue to SIGA, apart from the transfers from the center to them, is a percentage of dividend from dividends that state-owned enterprises will pay to the state. It is up to, I think, 5%. Most of state institutions were making losses, and so they did not get that percentage. We are working hard to turn around and make sure that state-owned enterprises make profit. When they make profit and pay dividends to the state, we will also pay 5% to SIGA to enhance their operations, and their revenue will go up. There is hope. As at second quarter, the report we received from them indicate that a number of state-owned enterprises are beginning to turn around. And so we are hoping that there will be profit declared by a number of them at the end of this year and dividends paid, and then we will also transfer some to them to show that their revenues go up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Chair, at the same time, your total expenditure increased by 24.5%. You have these dwindling incomes and inflows, and yet your expenditure ballooned by 24%, and this was largely owing to goods and services. What kind of goods did you purchase to the extent that you have this overrun?
Thank you, Chairman. As a ministry, we support you. This question goes to the core of the challenge, that when you are making profit, it makes sense that you spend. There should be a direct relationship between your expenditure and the revenue you make. But when you are not making the revenue and you are also not constraining expenditure, your revenues are dwindling, but your expenditure goes up, it only widens the deficit. And so I agree with you. This is a question I want them to answer directly. Why they spent more even when they were not making more. I know that it is not them, they inherited it, but they need to answer it and make sure that they don't repeat the wrong things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So SIGA, by its nature, is expected to perform some very critical national assignments. One of them is, as I mentioned earlier, the production of the state ownership reports, which, as it were, involves some critical scrutiny and analysis of the financial and non-financial performance of the state-owned enterprises, especially those that have signed performance contracts. And here I should say it goes even beyond state-owned enterprises to include others that are classified as other state entities. Now, the efforts involved and activities involved in producing the state ownership reports are quite intense and involves a lot of costs. That's, for the most part, accounted for much of the expenditure within that period of time. These are voluminous documents that touches on almost all the state-owned enterprises, joint venture companies, and other institutions in the country. So even though you may have seen that goods and services have gone up, they have gone up in response to statutory duties. And that is the reason why SIGA needs to be supported a lot more financially so as to be able to perform these functions effectively and efficiently. Thank you, sir.
I have a final question. Professor White, I've worked with you. I know how diligent you are. This is clearly unacceptable. And so what assurance do you have for the country that this kind of unguarded expenditure lines will not be repeated? What steps do you have in place to make sure that we can protect the public finances going forward?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the question. I think that protecting the public purse, as it were, is of extreme importance to SIGA, especially if you look at the core mandate of SIGA, which is to oversight the state-owned enterprises and make sure that they are run effectively, efficiently, and make profit and pay dividend. And to the extent that our own resources derive their source from the dividends, we are quite keen on. Now, in the particular year that we are looking at, it is because two state ownership reports were produced simultaneously, and that's ballooned the cost. We have just finished producing the state ownership report for 2024, and I mean, because it is one, I think the cost is manageable. We are keen on making sure that we demonstrate prudence in our spending so as to provide basis for giving us whatever resources we need to ensure that we perform those statutory duties of having an effective and efficient oversight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that will be all, Honorable Chair.
Go ahead, sir.
Under your financial performance, I'm seeing a decline in your employee compensation by 14%. Is it the case that some employees were laid off or what?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy you ask. And the reason I'm happy you ask is because the staff attrition rate at SIGA is quite high, largely because of what I would describe as not too good conditions of service for our staff. And because our staff interface a lot with almost all institutions by way of going on the field to do monitoring and evaluation, people see the caliber of individuals at SIGA and poach them. So you send your staff to go and do monitoring on behalf of the state, and then another state says, wait a minute, how much are you being paid at where you are? Can you make a decision and move to our side, and then we'll pay you better? And so the staff are leaving. In fact, even Parliament poached one of our staff. So if we improve the conditions of service of SIGA staff, we will keep them, and the attrition will stop, and that is what accounted for the decline in the compensation. Thank you.
Create better conditions for them and make sure you stay them. You let them stay.
We are actively working at that, and we believe that with your support, we will create a much, much better condition for them.
Okay. The next infraction is on paragraph 441, and Honorable Payto will take care of that one, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Prof, this is about
I'm sorry, just a little bit of correction. The first one was just a financial statement. It wasn't an infraction. It's now that we are going to the infraction. So, Honorable, go ahead, please.
So, Prof, this is about a long overdue rent receivable, total amount of 748,984. The auditors were saying that that amount has not been corrected from 4 institutions occupied your, property. And so they recommended that the management should take steps, including legal action, to recover the overdue rent of such an amount. First, I want to know whether the money has been paid. And then 2, has the legal action been commenced? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and thank you very much, Honorable. So the 4 institutions in question are Ghana Employers Association. They made some payment. They paid 63,531 out of the 86,517 that was observed in the audit reports. 22,985 is outstanding, and the reason is because there is a little bit of disputes about the exact amount. So we are in conversations with them to reconcile, if possible, and make sure that whatever balance is left is cleared accordingly. The second institution that owed rent to SIGA is a company called Snyder, And Snyder, as at the time, I believe the indication was that they were owing around 400 and something thousand. But my understanding is that based on rent evaluation by rent control, the 50% discount was given to them. And so they had come to pay 228,600 as at February 15th, 2025, based on follow-ups that SIGA had made. There is an outstanding balance of 9,000 yet to be paid. And that 9,000 is so because, the amount quoted to them, I believe it was in an error, excluded that 9,000. And so we are in conversations again with them to ensure that that 9,000 is paid to close the books on them. The third is fair wages and salaries for occupying the SIGA building at some point in time. And they owe 184,859 Ghana cedis, 77 pesos. We have had the opportunity to write several letters to fair wages and salaries. I had the opportunity also of visiting the CEO of Fair Wages and Salaries to have conversations with him. And the agreement was that we should write officially to them because they need to go to the Minister of Finance for the necessary action to be taken. We did write to them. As of 20th of October, we had written to them to make sure that they honor this particular debt obligation. The last one of the four is the Ministry of Energy, now Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions. At some point, there was an agreement where a project hosted by the ministry occupied part of the SIGA building with the understanding that the ministry will provide solar for SIGA's operations. Unfortunately, that particular agreement was not honored. And so the period within which they occupied the facility was converted into rent, which came to 230,406. 230,406. There hasn't been any payments. We have written several letters. We have had conversations with officials there. The last letter we wrote to them was on the 20th of October, 2025. I am arranging to meet with the minister, who I believe probably might have not been abreast with this particular issue yet. And hopefully when that is done, we will make sure that they also do the needful. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
So it means the legal action has not been taken yet.
So if there's going to be a legal action, it will be in respect of Ghana Employers Association and Snyder, both of whom have made payments. The other two organizations, Fair Wages and Ministry of Energy, are government institutions that we have very good and collaborative relationship with. If we're going to take legal action against them, we're going to ask the Auditor-General to institute a legal action against entities of which he will be the defending party himself. But we haven't instituted any legal action. And I should also say that our board was introduced inaugurated not too long ago. A matter of this nature, before you take a legal action, you have to go to the board to make sure that the board approves it. Thank you, sir.
Take a last question, then I hand over to the chairman. According to the report, these people vacated the building since 2020. And then effort has not been made to correct this revenue to the date that we are talking about it. I want some clarity from you as you sit down right here telling the commission. Would you give an assurance that within a short time frame, this money can be collected to the state?
Thank you very much. I think your question is in two parts. And the first part, I see it as a commendation of our efforts so far. These amounts have been outstanding from, years past. SIGA has been in existence for the past 5 years, right? And within a matter of 7-8 months, we've been able to get 2 of the entities to make payments right away. And the other 2, one is a ministry, the other is Fair Wages. Definitely, they have been very receptive to our letters and demands, and we have been having conversations. I can give you an assurance that based on the conversations we've had and the assurances they themselves have given, we will recover this money sooner than later, sir.
Will you confirm any payment so far received? Then we hand over to them.
Honorable Chair, we can confirm the recovery of 63,531.21 from the Ghana Employers Association.
Please, you can take up.
Thank you very much. So you are recovering these amounts, right?
Yes, Chair.
All right. Auditors, keep an eye on it, and let's make sure they recover these amounts. SIGA, you are discharged. Now let's call Minerals Income Investment Fund. Okay, Minerals Income and Investment Fund. Have you taken the oath? Has the oath been administered to you? You haven't? Okay, then let them take the oath, please. But I thought you would. Okay, all those under Ministry of Finance who are going to speak to these infractions, please get up and then they will administer the oath. So we are starting with MIF and then all the others who will answer questions, please. We have National Insurance Commission. Are you here? What about venture capital? Did you guys take did you take the oath? You didn't, then you should come and join them. National Lotteries, are you here? They have taken it. Okay, so then is venture capital. What about Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund? Are you here? Okay, clerk, administer the oath, please. Hey, we have also Internal Audit Agency and then Financial Intelligence Center.
I. Can you say it after me? I,
Martin Ajay,
swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in the issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, Honorable Minister, Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund is not here. And Internal Audit Agency is not here. Oh, it's here. But what about Financial Intelligence Center? Oh, you are here. Did you take part in the oath? Okay, and which one? National Insurance Commission. Are they here? Minister, it means when we call them, you may have to come back with them.
Mr. Chairman, please, for my education, are you inviting those who do not have infractions to also appear?
Anybody whose name is in the book.
Okay.
Yes. You see, what we are doing is also looking at the financial performance. Yes. Okay, now let's go to Minerals Income Investment Fund. And we'll start with Honorable Akwesi Kunedu with the financials.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, we'll start with the statement of our financial performance. First on the item that I would like to ask to have a consideration of is your gold trade income. That is the first line item on that table. For 2022, you recorded 0 there. But in 2023, there was about 8 million Ghana cedis. What accounted for that? That you had a 0 in 2022, but in 2023, you had 8 million Ghana cedis as income coming from gold trade.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. For 2022, then the gold trade has not started with MIF. So in 2023, MIF piloted with some aggregators. And the aggregators were 5. No, the aggregators were 3. Then in 2024, increased to 5. And this is what accounted for the 8 million in there recorded.
You seem to have also sharply reduced in your mineral royalties. Why? From 129 to 64. Is it that there are some that are still in arrears to be collected? Or it's just that portions of wherever you may have been receiving from has been off-let to go?
Thank you. In 2023, the mineral royalties came in, but there were some that were in arrears, which, of course, the auditors picked those up, and those has also been collected. However, the collection as at that time was what was recorded in there, but as we speak now, the figures has changed, and it has even improved. Thank you.
Oh, okay. What constitutes other income for MIF?
What constitutes other income for MIF is we have the investment wing, as well as any other that would come in for us. So with the investment wing, it constitutes other income. We also have the equity, but however, we have not started having anything coming in at all. So that is what accounts in there.
I asked that, but if you say you have investment wing, on the statement of financial performance, you have investment income separate from other incomes. Investment income was 69 in 2022 and increased to 198, so that is different. So in the other income, there was none for the previous year, that is 2022. But in 2023, that was 44 million. That is why I asked that specifically. So if you talk about the investment when contributing to that, the figures don't speak to that. So if you can elaborate for us.
Right. In the financials as well, there's reference to the exchange gains over the period. So over the period, those exchange gains were placed under income. So that is what is recorded in there.
No, that was the exchange gains. Okay, so that is why in 2023 you don't have any exchange losses in there. So all of that was an exchange gain. Wow. And goods and services. The more you receive, the more you spend. The minister told me when you are receiving, it means you ought to be spending. So probably you just have to live it that way. But you are reducing in your current ratio. It means you are accumulating a lot of liability as against your current assets. So I think you probably ought to be watching that so that you don't fall into the trap of non-liquidity. So whatever you are accumulating in terms of liability, try as much as possible. Or if you need to increase your current assets, that will be fine, so that at least you would have that. Chairman, with that,
Very
I
well
think
noted, please. Thank you.
their financials are okay.
All right, thank you very much. Madam, we have to, if I could, I forgot about this. You need to introduce yourself So you'll be identified on air, and then Hansard also will do that. So if you could please introduce yourself.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, my name is Justina Nelson, CEO, acting CEO of Minerals Income Investment Fund.
Mr. Chairman, my name is...
Speak through the microphone. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my name is David Ewa Mensah, acting Chief Finance Officer of Minerals Income Investment Fund.
Mr. Chairman, please, my name is Martin Ajay, Director Internal Audit.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Teresa JC Entry. I'm the head of procurement as Minerals Income Investment Fund.
Good afternoon. My name is Louisa Kweku, head of legal, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Now that you've introduced yourself, what about the unpaid royalties of 29 million? You were to recover that.
Yes, Mr. Chair. As we stand now, those monies have been recovered. We gave a schedule out in 2024, 2025, and the auditors can confirm, the bank statements as well can also confirm that those royalties have been collected.
Auditors, could you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that those royalties have been collected. The total amount of 29,225,770.74. Thank you.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 461. It's unaccounted payment of 39,043 cedis.
Honorable Chair, the recommendation was for us to be able to produce the voucher for it and the receipts in respect of what was purchased. So that has also been submitted to the auditors, and they can confirm that they have received the voucher for it. So I'm sure the auditors can do.
All right, then, auditors, do you have all that you need from them on this infraction, unaccounted payment?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the payment has been fully accounted for.
Great. The next infraction is on paragraph 265, and Honorable Alaji Bawa will take care of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The said infraction on paragraph 465 relates to advance payment above the 15% of the contract sum. And the auditors noted that in 2023, you awarded a contract to Commodity Monitor Limited for the supply of a deployment and installation of a free mercury gold processing plant. And the contract sum was 5,421,900 Ghana cedis. No, dollars, US dollars. So statutorily, mobilization is normally 15%, but you paid mobilization of, and that would have amounted to 813,285 United States dollars. But you paid an amount of $3,795,330 dollars, representing 70% of the contract sum. So clearly, this is a procurement breach. Do you have any explanations to them? But I know it didn't occur during your time.
Honorable Chair, very well noted. It didn't occur. However, we know this is in clear breach of the regulation, the PFM regulation 113. However, this was a single source. that was awarded, and there was an advance payment guarantee, as stated, 70%, as well as a performance bond that was taken. However, the contract was executed to the fullest, and the equipment were supplied. The recommendations of the auditors we've taken very seriously, because we needed to strengthen internal control measures in. So what we have done is to be able to have trainings in there to abreast ourselves with what is expected to be done. Secondly, we have also instituted the compliance department and the full-fledged of a RICS department in the fund to assist us. And then also with amendments of the PFM Act as well, we are also expected to submit our procurement plan to the Ministry of Finance, that is our mother body, to be able to look at it. So this put in place in the fund, this will not be repeated to the committee. We can confidently say that.
Madam CEO, so are you telling us that what's the practice now? I mean, are you now strictly going by the PFM Act?
Yes, sir, we are.
But the recommendation of the auditors was that those officers concerned should be sanctioned. So, I don't know, Chairman, even though the project has been fully completed and the contractor has supplied the equipment as in the contract. So, I don't know what the Chairman will say, whether we still go by the recommendation of the Auditor-General or you pardon them.
Auditors, was this contract fulfilled?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
And the system is working okay?
Honorable Chair, we can be able to confirm that in our subsequent audit.
Okay, so please do that. And if it's not working properly, we'll apply the sanctions. If it's working properly, I will tell them to go and sin no more. The next infraction is on paragraph 472, and Honorable Enim will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. Chairman, this infraction has to do with procurement breaches again. The auditors noted that management used the RFQ method to procure 2 lots of goods valued at a total of 359,359.88 instead of using the national competitive tendering method. This approach was inappropriate as the procurement values of both transactions exceeded 100,000 approval threshold for the head of entity under the PPA. The auditor's recommendation was that, one, you should always adhere to provisions within the Procurement Act. Then the second recommendation is to the effect that you have to apply the sanctions under Section 92 of the PPA Act. Has these sanctions been applied yet? And then again, I would want to know from management whether you have stopped going through these illegal procurement processes, methods. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We can say that we have stopped the illegal procurements, and we recently even published, upon approval from Ministry of Finance, in the national tendering in the dailies for us to adhere to what is expected of us. But we took the note of the recommendations of the auditors. So what we've done is we've written to the officers in charge, and we can provide the letters where they need be. They have some responses have come in, we will also provide. And because we are a fund and we cannot administer any sanctions yet, we have written to the AG to give us guidance on what to do.
Chair, I think management has complied to the recommendation as stated by the auditors. So.
All right, let's go ahead.
Madam CEO, The first one, the auditors said the machine is working. I think you said that. And the first performance you got was for the performance of the contract, the supply of the equipment. So once the equipment have been supplied, it means that that performance is not needed anymore. But what about warranty? You have warranty on the product. Where the auditors will be coming back to check whether the machines are working effectively or they are performing what they are supposed to do. What I'm asking is that, do you have a warranty on the product?
All right. Mr. Chair, what we have done, every machine, of course, that is purchased would come with some warranties. But we have also, just like I answered, strengthened the internal controls in. So the internal auditor has also traveled to the field to also check, to see, and there are pictures and reports that he has brought back before even the external auditors come in to even check, so that at every step of the way we are monitoring. And that is what we have instituted in the fund.
Public procurement, paragraph 477 on qualified suppliers. About 2-3 years ago, PPA brought a directive that if you want to do business with a government institution, you must register with that agency, the PPA. So the auditors are saying that when they were doing the review of your operations, they found that 3 companies were in your books. In other words, you dealt with them like you gave them contracts, but they were not registered with PPA. The first one was for purchase of MIF corporate souvenirs. The amount was 169,335, and the second one for branded item for mining NDABA, and the third one, amounting to 436,156 Ghana cedi. So the recommendation was that your officers involved with sanction under Section 92 of Act 663 as amended. So what have you done so far about it?
Honorable Chair, we admit that per the recommendations of the auditors, this is in contravention of the PPA Section 14(1) and 2 of the PPA Act. What we've done is in same with what I earlier on answered in the 4th infraction. So we have done that, and they are also part of the letters that we have written so that we can be giving clarity on which sanctions that is supposed to apply to them. However, we also wrote to the officers as well to give clarity. We have also regularized with some of the documents, and so we provided some documents in the subsequent to the auditors, but we would ensure that they get the full documents that is expected.
Auditors also spoke about tax and Senate clearance certificates that were not provided. So have you dealt with that one as well?
Those ones are yet to be submitted. We have the GRA and we have the others, which the certificate of incorporation to commence business and all others. We have ensured that they bring those copies to us, so we will supply it to the auditors, please.
So for education purpose, you know that every procurement you do, those that are coming, they must have a valid Senate or tax clearance, written your name on it, not general one. GRA have stopped using that one. No, don't accept those for general purpose. If it's coming to MIF, it should be specific, please, so that they will go and pay the tax. Thank you.
Very well noted, please.
I'm done. The sanction, the CEO has explained that they haven't sanctioned anybody yet. So, Chairman, I will yield to you to give a ruling. Thank you.
You see, they said in their capacity they cannot. And they've written to AG. So the AG is going to reply to them. Yes. And if the AG doesn't do it, then I will do it. Ah. All right. Okay. Madam Abna Osaya-Sari has a public interest question, right?
Not necessarily. It's
She
not
has
a
a
public
question. She
interest
has a
question,
question.
but I must say that I'm really impressed with your answers. You came well prepared. I'm not commending you because you're a woman. I'm commending you because you are competent. You came very well prepared. You know, she quoted the sections. She knew what she had done, what she hadn't done, and what she couldn't do in her capacity. I mean, she went to the next stage of making sure she gives it the relevant bodies to have it done. So I think on this note, I'd like to commend you and then ask that, how do I put it? Ask that you run the company, MIF, with that same mindset, that same competency. And I believe that already you are making profits, but you can do more to support the minister, construct the bypass in my constituency, and all the other things that all Ghanaians also need to make their life better. On page 102, I see the supply, deployment, and installation of mercury-free gold processing equipment. Were you engaged in the gold trade program? And if you were, can you give me some updates on it, please?
Madam Chair, thank you very much for the commendation. We were engaged in the gold trade, and that was the reason why those machines were procured. However, we know with the piloting of the aggregators, 5 aggregators were used for the pilots, and some monies were coming in. But with government regulation and with the coming of the gold board, we needed to be in our mandates, which was given to us by our mother body. So we now have to look at the royalties coming in, ensure that those royalties are given to the state or collected with Mincom and GRA. So that is exactly what is being done. We decided that those aggregators will be ceded off to Gold Board because they are the mother body for them to be able to get the gold coming in and all. And so that has been done. We've written to the aggregators. Those contracts that we were given to them, where we had some negotiations with them to be able to transition them nicely to gold board. So we are still in the transition stage, but we stopped the gold trade altogether.
Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best and God's blessings as well.
Thank you very much,
Is that you? Yes, Honorable Hinkwa.
Chairman, thank you. I want to take you back on your financial performance. When you look at the expenditure column, 2022, the expenditure was 14 million, and 2023, it jumped with a sharp increase to 29 million. I heard my colleague saying you were earning more, so you were spending more. But to me, I don't think that should be the trajectory. Can you let us know what went into that sharp increase? Ghanaians are watching.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. But the expenditure in the, looking at the general administrative expenses, there are a few things that run through it that formed the expenditure. But thank you for bringing it. We are watching the expenditures as well, and you subsequently, I'm sure that you will not see that again. What really went into it were a few things, that is the training, the conferences, because it's a mining fund. So we needed to go out to be able to get that visibility and also woo people in, and a few things as well. Thank you.
Last question. I think that one. Madam patted you on your shoulders that you have done well. You've shown competency. That is true. But I want to know, at your workplace, what is your working relationship with your subordinates?
Thank you very much. I have a very good working relationship with my subordinates, and they are here to testify. Sometimes when a female comes to the political terrain, there are a few things that it goes round and all those things. Of course, it makes you stronger, and if you're able to handle it well, it also gives you some capacity to be able to do much more. So those were, yes, I admit that there were some social media things that were taken. But of course, that has been addressed, and anyone at all who needs information can come to the fund to verify for themselves, because these are the old staff still in here. Thank you.
Madam, you are discharged. Now let's go to National Development Planning Commission. Are you here? Okay, what about National Insurance Commission? What about venture capital? No, venture. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Cristiano Tute, Acting Deputy CEO of Venture Capital Trust Fund.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Alex Owusua Champong, the Head of Investment for Venture Capital Trust Fund.
Venture capital, let's see here. Yours is not an infraction. We are going to review your financial performance. And Honorable Seaman will take care of that.
Thank you very much, Chair. Venture capital. So we saw, as I said, according to your financial statement of financial performance, other income from Ministry of Finance for 2023 was 0. In 2022, you got 4,500,000. What accounted for that? Did you have to apply? What accounted for that?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Venture Capital Trust Fund is actually recapitalized by Ministry of Finance and some donations. So we don't really have any dedicated source of funding. So as to when the ministry is ready, they are able to give us what they have. So as at that time, that is what happened. But we've spoken to the current ministry or the minister, and they are very receptive to our plight. So we hope that a lot of things will change as soon as possible. resetting that the president is talking about was to come down to venture capital as soon as possible with the help of the minister around us. Thank you.
There was a huge dip in other income. 2022 was 29 million, 834, 759. But in 2023, it was just 354,409. What accounted for that other income? Down by 51%. That's huge.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. In 2022, like my deputy CEO said, the Venture Capital Trust Fund was recapitalized through the Ghana Economic Transformational Project, the GETP. And the funds that venture capital received came in the form of US dollars, foreign currency. And so the 29 you see there, a chunk of it, about 95%, is exchange gains from the dollars we received through the project. Thank you.
Impairment receivables, 2023, 2,264,293, as against 847. That's huge. Any explanation, please?
Mr. Chairman, can you please repeat the values whilst I...
Impairment of receivables, 2023, 2,264,293. That's 2023. And 2022 was 847,490. Coming to talking about expenditure, the expenditure column.
Oh, okay.
And in terms of percentage, it was 167.2%.
Mr. Chairman, I think this has occurred in the era where almost all of us were not there, but we have taken good note, say that we will really correct whatever went wrong. We will take a good clue from what you are saying. Thank you very much.
Now let's come to your statement of financial position, your balance sheet. There's a dip in your ratio, 58.3.1. No, that actually increased, which is good. Your current liabilities have decreased, which is good. Your current assets increased. Non-current assets also increased, which is good. That's fine. Keep it up. That's all I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and former colleagues.
All right. Venture capital, you are discharged. Now, national lotteries, are you here?